Hello and welcome. My name is David Baker. I'm the National Director for the John Jubilee Transformation Experience, and we are glad that you're here tonight. We have something very special for you. John's going to be sharing the program and especially pointed to how it can help you with blood pressure. And there are literally, well, John will tell you how many people in the country struggle with high blood pressure and how many people it kills. It is a major killer. Let me tell you a little testimony of mine and then how I got into this, and then John will come on and he'll take it from there. I was a pastor for 20, I'm still a preacher, for 27 years. And I got out of the military. When I became a preacher, I said, I'm not going to be a fat preacher, because in high school, my pastor was over 400 pounds. In Bible college, this different guy was over 300 pounds. And I remember they would preach on drunkenness, but they'd always skip over gluttony. It's in the same verse. And I remember saying, when I became a preacher, I'm not going to let that happen. So I always ran, worked out, and exercised. And then I messed my knee up sledding with my children. I've got 11 children, and wrapped it around a tree. Wasn't able to run anymore. And I could walk. It didn't hurt, but the running, the pounding just killed it. And so gained a bunch of weight and tried to lose it, lose, gain, 8-10 different programs, and finally I heard John on the radio for 5 minutes, and so that sounds too good to be true. I'm going to check it out, and I did. Ended up signing up. 8-day program. I lost over 50 pounds of fat, gained muscle, gained hydration, fixed my knee. We climbed Mount LeConte in Gatlinburg, the highest trail mountain, difficulty there. After that, we did a 5K run with our family. I did my first triathlon at 48 years old and loved it. I purposely stayed away from doctors. My blood pressure, anytime they would check it, they would always say, "Are you on high blood pressure medicine?" And I said, "No." I said, "Okay." And then they would say, "Is your blood pressure always this high?" I said, "I don't know." I didn't have a doctor, never went to the doctor, but I know I had high blood pressure. I just heard enough bad about the medicine that I didn't want to take it. And we all have that denial that, I'm okay, I'll be okay. And so I just got my health screen for new life insurance a week ago. And I'm just turned 49. The lady that did it knows me as a pastor. Says, "Wow, that preaching's still been good to you. Your blood pressure's low," and it was 118 over 70, and so she had to check it 2 arms and 3 different times to make sure that it was good. And so, what a blessing it is. I know it helped me and avoided any future problems, and so I know it can help you too. So I'm going to introduce John Jubilee. He's going to talk to you about it and show you how we can help you. So, John, you want to unmute, and it's yours.
Well, awesome. Well, I am so excited to come through the magic of technology. I am just always in awe and wonder that we can connect, and no matter where you are, you can get the same message. You know, in the old days, I had to meet with people just one-on-one, face-to-face, to make these kind of things available. But to be able to be here through the magic of technology is just so cool. So I'm glad you're here. If you have high blood pressure, one of your friends has high blood pressure, then you're at the right place, because I've got some great news for you. Literally, I want you to say this out loud with me. Might feel a little bit awkward, but just kind of roll with me a little bit. Everybody say, they say. They say. Say, they say. They say. They say. Every person that's done my program, they say I got cured of high blood pressure. And look, there's a great reason that they say that, because they did. And there's a reason I have hundreds of doctors in my cell phone. The reason is, when they've been treating somebody for 5, 10, 15, 20 years for high blood pressure, and all of a sudden in 88 days or 28 days, they see this person is cured of high blood pressure, they call me. And they say, what in the world has happened to this person that now they have no need for any high blood pressure medication? And I'm able to share with them. And I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. I'm going to get into the science. It's going to be like going to med school and science class all in one. And I'm going to teach you something so simple. I'm a simplifier of complex things. And if you're here for the first time with me and you haven't researched me a lot, look, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a backstory. I was a banker. I was the youngest level 12 banker in the United States of America. I had 220 bank branches under me in my early 30s. And it was super fun. I loved banking. I loved helping people with their big financial decisions and making a decision about their home and how much they could afford, how much they should invest. I loved doing that. But in the midst of just helping people in the banking industry, I myself let my health go. And the next thing you know, I had the Rice Krispie syndrome. I woke up, I snapped, crackled, and popped. That's not a good thing. I was virtually bone on bone in my knees. But guess what I found out? I had high blood pressure. I had hypertension. I had high cholesterol. And if I can just be open with you, if I took off my shirt and took a picture, which I did, I looked like I swallowed a truck tire. Looked like a cartoon character. It was not good. I'm laughing now because my stomach is flat as a washboard, but guess what? It was not always this way. And I will say it, I had man boobs. I really did. Well, I'm happy to tell you that out of my frustration, out of my pain, and I'm talking about pain, and I hope I'm able to help somebody. If you're in pain mentally and physically, that's where I was in pain mentally and physically. I've got some great news for you. I was in pain also, and I'd already tried every diet out there, and I learned that every diet works for a minute. So I didn't care about doing some other diet because so what if we lose 10 pounds of water, right? If you're going to go lose 10 pounds of water, I've got the perfect diet for you. It's called the sauna Twinkie diet. Take a box of Twinkies, go in the sauna. Eat all the Twinkies. Stay in the sauna for 2 hours. You'll lose 10 pounds of water. So you'll be less healthy, but if all you're looking to do is lose water weight, go for the sauna Twinkie diet. Now look, I'm being funny, but it really is that serious. We all do that. We go on these diets. All we lose is water. We're less healthy, but our scale is lower. So we're kind of deceiving ourselves. It's like playing a mind trick. We think, well, if the scale's lower, I'm healthier. Well, not necessarily, because many times I lost weight, but I felt worse. You ever been there? Well, me too. And you know what one of the worst side effects is to losing weight the wrong way? Sagging skin. That's really a bummer to look like one of those Shar-Pei dogs. We don't want to do that. Not a good thing. Your spouse will not be glad you're on the Shar-Pei dog diet either, so don't do that. But here's what I did find out. I went and did all this research. And look, anybody can go do research today. Are you kidding me? We have more information than we have ever had. But guess what? We're sicker than we've ever been. We're less healthy than we've ever been with more information than we've ever had. We have more diets than we've ever had, and we're fatter than we've ever been. 68.8%, almost 70% of us as Americans are 30 pounds or more overweight. I'm sharing all this because all of this does affect our blood pressure because we put extra stress and strain on our body. The less healthy we are, the harder our body has to work to pump that blood and to circulate it through our system. So look, God gave me several gifts. A gift is just like God puts a hat on your head. So if you're a great singer, man, I'm happy for you. But it's not because you practiced and worked hard. I'm sure you did practice and work hard. But guess what? That's not why you're a great singer. God gave you a gift, and so you can sing good. If you're a fast runner, God made you a fast runner. Maybe you're a good cook, or you can work on cars. Every one of us gets gifts. Well, listen, I can tell you, I learned when I was a young boy growing up, raised by a single mom in the inner city, I had a gift to be able to look at an encyclopedia page and memorize it and be able to repeat it back word for word. When I got to 9th grade, I learned I could just look at algebraic equations and solve them and skip all the steps. Those are just gifts. Nobody can practice and learn how to do that. God gave me a couple of great gifts, which come in really handy when you're researching, because I can retain a lot of information and then I can simplify it so I can share it with you in a simple way. So let me just break down in a very simple way, you know, how the human body works when it comes to blood pressure. Look, I want you to just picture your tube, okay? Let's just pretend like my finger is a tube. Your arteries are like tubes made out of muscle tissue. They're made out of muscle tissue of a tube. The blood is supposed to run through the tube. But as we get going through life and stress and unhealthy, our tube goes from this size to this size. It gets a little bit smaller. Well, when the tube gets smaller, guess what that does to your blood pressure? Makes it go up. That's not a good thing. It's just like if you take a hose and you squeeze it tighter, the pressure of the water gets greater, right? It's the same way with blood pressure. So we want to have a nice big tube, not a tiny little tube. This is dangerous. The blood pressure goes up. When the blood pressure goes up, the body is so smart. It says, hey, I got to protect John. I need to produce a slick, slippery substance to help that blood get through that tube because now the tube's too small. Guess what that slick, slippery substance is called? Cholesterol. Cholesterol. Your body, to protect you, overproduces cholesterol. Unfortunately, it doesn't all stay in the tube. Some of it gets to the heart, and this is what causes blockages. And when it gets all the way blocked, you have a heart attack. That's why I tell people, look, don't kid yourself. High blood pressure is one step away from a heart attack. High blood pressure is one step away from a heart attack. Take a guess how many people just in America last year not had a heart attack, but died from a heart attack, died from one. So literally millions of people have heart attacks and don't die. But every year in America, about 1 million people die from their heart attack. They die from it, buried, dead in the ground of their heart attack. And guess how many of them have high blood pressure? All of them. They all do. Guess how many of them are taking high blood pressure medication? Almost all of them. High blood pressure medication does this. It just masks a symptom. It doesn't change anything of reality. It just makes your body do this. It makes your blood pressure just mask that it really is still high. That's why people that are taking their high blood pressure medication just like they should still have a heart attack, they die, they get buried at their funeral. So look, it is serious high blood pressure. Okay, are you ready for the good news? There is some good news coming. I don't want everybody to be going, oh my word, I'm going to die of a heart attack on this webinar. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're on this webinar because you wanted some hope. You wanted some information of something that could change your life, could help you get off your high blood pressure, help you get healthy at a cellular level, and never have to worry about taking your high blood pressure medication again. So here's the good news. Look, that artery is small because it's dehydrated. When things get dehydrated, what happens to them? They get smaller, right? They even have dehydrators. Astronauts dehydrate their food to make it smaller, to take it into space. So now we've got these dehydrated arteries, our muscle tubes. Well, here's the good news. I have a secret. I know how to make your cell porous. When the cell is porous, it's able to uptake the healthy hydration, and the artery is able to open up to its real size it's supposed to be, like when you're a teenager. When the artery opens up, the high blood pressure goes away. The blood pressure comes down to its normal healthy level. When the blood pressure comes down to its normal healthy level, your body says, I don't need to overproduce this cholesterol any longer. And it stops overproducing the cholesterol. Do you know that I just had a gentleman just this year, 70 to 72 years old. He could barely breathe, walk into his mailbox because he had 4 heart stents. He had 2 major heart surgeries and thought, you know, there's no way I'm going to live much longer. He and his other buddy, two grumpy old men, because they were overweight and they had all these medications and they were grumpy. They did the program together. In 88 days, each of them lost 70 and 72 pounds of fat, respectively. Each of them got off of their diabetes and their high blood pressure medication in their 70s. I got great news for you. You really can get off at any age and not have to deal with the debilitating side effects. Look, hopefully everybody that's on here is an adult. If you have a small child nearby, you can cover their ears for this part. But I'm just talking about real life here with all of us. There are many side effects. If you pick up your high blood pressure medication, and 90% of people that are on high blood pressure are on high cholesterol. So if you pick those up, the number one side effect of your high cholesterol medication is it's bad for your heart. It's bad for your heart. It will help you have a heart attack sooner. It may as well say on this, take this if you want to have a heart attack sooner. It's a fact. Look, I'm not making this up. Don't shoot the messenger. Pick up your high cholesterol medication. You may need literally a magnifying glass to read it, the side effect. But the number one side effect is this is bad for your heart. High blood pressure medication, there's all kinds of side effects. But one of the most painfully obvious that's so irritating to me, because I'm a big believer in love and in relationships, is it takes away people's sex drive. And God designed us to have sex. God designed us to have loving, intimate relationships with that person that we love. We are designed for that. I mean, if you really think about it, the only thing that differentiates, the only special relationship on the planet Earth is the male and female partner. God created that so that you could have the greatest union, the greatest experience imaginable, and high blood pressure medication makes you not even want to do that with your partner, which makes them like your buddy. Well, if you wanted a buddy, you wouldn't have got married. You wanted a spouse, right? So look, I'm just saying, we have many motivating factors to get off of our high blood pressure medication. You know, when I'm speaking nationally, I say this in front of audiences. 1 out of every 3 people in the audience, 1 out of every 3 people in every audience I speak at has high blood pressure. Now, in this audience tonight, maybe everybody has it. But even if you pictured, when you're on the freeway, 1 out of 3 people is on high blood pressure medication. 1 out of 3 people is probably not having sex because of their high blood pressure medication. No wonder there's road rage, right? I mean, that's really bad, but that's really true. That's the world we live in. And look, let's be real. It pays to treat, not to cure. It pays to treat, not to cure. So look, they're going to just keep giving you high blood pressure medication and saying, hey, you're doing good, you're doing good. Well, not really. You might be alive, but you're not doing good because you're still dealing with side effects and you still are 1 step away from a heart attack. So I'm encouraging you right now to get hope tonight. Okay, I want to give you some real hope. And actually, I'm going to let David Parks, he's going to share with you a real story. Look, when somebody shares a real testimony with you, when someone shares a real story, that's what I call empirical evidence. It's indisputable. It's undeniable. If somebody says I stuck my finger in a fire and it burned and I got blisters on my finger, you can't argue with that. That's their experience. So I'm going to have David share with you, then I'm going to have Philip share with you, and then I'm going to share with you how you can change your life and how you can truly get off high blood pressure medication or help one of your loved ones. Maybe you're watching this for someone else. And you can save this recording. You know, we can email it to you so that you can show it to them, to give them hope, to know that they can be free of every symptom, they can be medication free, and they can have zero fear that they are going to ever have a heart attack because they have high blood pressure. So David Parks, if you would, brother, just step up there and share your testimony.
Okay. Well, I'm David Parks in Greenville, South Carolina, and on this program, I've lost 35 pounds and turned my life around. Really, I couldn't do anything with my weight, and all of a sudden, boom, it starts coming off. Slimming down, went from 36 tight pants to 34 slims, and back in the gym and feeling great. Well, after I was pretty much halfway through the program, I guess, my daughter called me and said her husband, my son-in-law, of course, 38 years old, just fell in an apartment with a heart attack. And they called it a widowmaker heart attack. He had one artery completely clogged, his heart completely stopped. They came in, they shocked him, got the ambulance there, still couldn't get a rhythm going, a pulse going good. They stopped twice on the way to the hospital, shocked him 2 more times, got him on the operating table, and the doctor, for 30 or 35 minutes, they did CPR while they kept shocking him, trying to get a pulse. Well, they went in the artery. Once they did get a little bit of a pulse, they went in and found he had it's completely blocked, 100%. They put a stent in his heart. Well, for 3 weeks, he laid in a coma, thinking that he was going to have possible brain damage if he lived. Only 5% of the people that have a widowmaker heart attack live. Well, God bless, miracles happen. I was in the room when the nurse told another nurse that he's got severe brain damage and all kind of stuff. Well, God just miraculously touched him, and he'll be going back to work pretty soon. And he didn't have any trouble walking or speaking. Just a miracle. Well, he's 38 years old. He had high blood pressure, thin, very thin. He's about 6 foot tall. I don't know, 150, 160 pounds. I mean, really, really skinny. And but he had high blood pressure, hypertension. Why? I don't know. He did have a lot of stress in his life at times, off and on, and he'd get upset real quick. Well, you can have a heart attack and be thin. I found that out real quick. So they still have him on high blood pressure medicine. They had him on 3 blood thinners. Now he's on 2. And I'm going to try to, when I have time to talk to him, see if he wants to start this program and try to get, even though he is thin, try to get his health back and get off his high blood pressure medicine. But I'm a firm believer in this program, and I've seen it work. I see people coming in the office all the time, and every time they come in, I see less of them. They just get smaller and healthier. They come in kind of pasty looking and then dehydrated, and next thing you know, they glowing and the hair's glowing, and it's amazing. That's it, brother.
All right. Well, that's a good word. That's a good word. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome
for sharing that. And look, and that's a real testimony of a real person. So the fact that high blood pressure, even if you're lean, can not only make you feel bad, but could literally, and that's a widowmaker. That's a widowmaker. And so, it means it's a severe enough heart attack to take you out, and put you in heaven, hopefully, if that's where you're headed for. So, I just want to encourage, everybody to realize, look, this is real. We're not trying to make something overly dramatic or, we're just telling it like it is. Look, I'm a pure scientist. I don't care what the truth is. I want to know what it is. I want to share it with you to help you be healthy, help you be the best that you can be. Now I've got Phil Paget here with me also, and he's got a story not quite as dramatic, but more realistic and more normal that probably happens with a lot of people. So I'm going to let Phil share here for a minute. Go ahead and just scoot in there, Phil, and you can share your testimony.
Sure. Yeah. So my history was that I'd struggled with borderline high blood pressure and high cholesterol for many, many years, and borderline high blood pressure for about the last 5 years. I found that out through some health screenings that we offered at the business that I worked at, and we had health screenings every 6 months, or we had the ability to get health screenings every 6 months. And so in going through those health screenings, I found out that I had borderline high blood pressure, which I hadn't had before because I had gone to a dentist who had taken my blood pressure twice a year for many years prior to that, and it was always been 120/80, which is very good. But in recent years, it had escalated quite high, along with my cholesterol, two things that John was talking about. So I tried a lot of different things, the things that the clinician and doctors tell you to do, to eat less red meat, stay away from salt, exercise more, lose weight, did a lot of those things, nothing helped. Went back for another health screening. I think David's actually showing my health screening on the screen right now. You can see that everything's in red. When anything's not normal, they show it in red, so you can see the whole sheet is pretty much red. Did some reading, tried some of the things they told me to do, and got a little bit better on some of the scores, but not everything. My blood pressure was still high, my cholesterol was still high, the two things that I was really concerned about. Went another 6 months after that, and there was really no change. It was flatline, same results, borderline high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So heard John on the radio, heard a lot of things that he was talking about. They made sense to me. They rang true. They aligned with a lot of things that I'd read, and so I gave it a shot. So I had a health screening right before I started the program, and that was March of 2014. Executed the program, and felt great. It was lost 50 pounds of body fat, gained 15 pounds of muscle mass, gained 15 pounds of hydration. After the program, I went and scheduled a health screening. The results after that health screening, as you see on the screen, they were all black. Everything was normal. My cholesterol was below 200. I'd never seen it below 200 before. And my blood pressure was lower than what it had been prior. It was now 115/75. So it really makes a lot of sense what John's talking about, that hydration being the root cause, and it made a dramatic impact on my life, along with the other health issues that it resolved in my life, and just how it gave me, a fit physique afterwards. That wasn't even why I started the program. I started the program to address the high blood pressure and cholesterol, but as a side effect, I really had a nice physique. Oh yeah, you're actually showing on the screen. You can see on the far left, if everybody has seen that, that's what I looked like when I was in my 30s. The middle was really about a year before I started the program, and then the last shot is, pretty much right after the program. So that was a side benefit. The best thing is that I'm healthy, and I'm going to live a healthy life here on out, and that I actually know how to live. This is a lifetime program. This isn't just something you do for 88 days. This is a plan that you can execute for the rest of your life.
That's awesome. John's going to come back, and we don't tell anybody to stop any medication. You understand that? We tell you to go see your doctor, and then your doctor tells you to get off. This is a funny story. I was talking to John. We had someone come in for a meeting, husband and wife, and the wife was giving the husband a hard time, and she said, they told you, and they're telling the story to John, and he had been on blood pressure medicine for 20 years. Well, he started the program, and we told him within the first 4 weeks you need to go see your doctor and get your blood pressure checked, because you don't want to take this medicine if you don't need it. He said, okay. He never did it. And so he was just taking his blood pressure medicine like normal, and he passed out. They took him to the hospital, didn't know what was wrong, and they found out his blood pressure was so low, and he said, well, I'm on high blood pressure. And they said, what? You don't need to be on high blood pressure. You don't have high blood pressure. And he said, well, I did for 20 years. And so his wife is giving him a fit. Said, they told you. And so anyway, it's a fun story to be able to see. We don't tell you to stop anything. Go see your doctor. But you do not need to take the medicine, of course, if you don't need it. So, John?
Absolutely. Well, I'm just going to share a couple more stories related specifically to high blood pressure. Tell a fun one first that this was probably my most embarrassing moment in the history of radio. So many of you probably know I've been on radio stations across the nation, some of them live, some of them recorded. But In the city of Indianapolis, Indiana, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., I had a live show on talk radio every morning, Monday through Friday. And so I get a live caller that calls in, and it was a woman, and she was all excited, and she's telling everybody, she said, I had to call in, and she said, it's been 4 weeks. I'm off my high blood pressure medication. I'm off my diabetes, my thyroid, and I've lost 30 pounds of fat. And she's just all excited, and I'm thinking this is a great phone call. And in radio, you have a producer, you can see them through the glass, and if a caller's going in a direction you're not sure where they're going, you kind of go like this, and you go to commercial, and you get the caller on the phone, you say, where are you headed with that? So that you can, help direct the conversation a little bit. Well, my producer's a young man, and he's like probably texting his girlfriend or something, because all of a sudden she says, and you know what else, John? She goes, I got the tingles back. And I'm going like, too late. He doesn't see me. And she goes, you know what the tingles are, right? And I said, well, actually, Elizabeth, I don't know what the tingles are. And she goes, I haven't had sex for 8 years. She goes, and my husband travels, and I just called him and said, baby, you need to get home. I'm going to jump your bones. I was like, okay, here we are, live radio. She just laid it right on out there. Well, true story. The next week, he came home all right, and guess where he came? In Indianapolis, my address is 8888 Keystone Crossing. And sure enough, guess who showed up there? Elizabeth's husband. And he said, hey, you guys have my wife on some cellular health program? Sign me up. He was skinny as a beanpole. He said, I don't know what you guys have done to her, but I want you to do it to me. And guess what? Even lean, he was like David's son. He had high blood pressure. He had high cholesterol. So it doesn't matter what your body shape is. It's how healthy are you from the inside out. I had somebody literally fly into Nashville, Tennessee. I won't say the name, but I will tell you it was a pilot for the royal family. He said, John Jubilee, I heard you can cure high blood pressure. He said, I'm about ready to lose one of the best jobs in the world. He said, I fly on 5 continents in a $60 million aircraft. He said, but in 4 weeks, when they test my blood pressure, I'm going to lose my job. And I said, brother, you're in good hands. Because they say everybody gets cured of high blood pressure. 4 weeks later, he called me from Hong Kong. He said, John Jubilee, I tell you right now, I'm going to work this job 3 more years, and I'm going to come work for you full time as a missionary. He said, my blood pressure is 115/70. And oh, by the way, I lost 60 pounds of fat. He said, this is unbelievable, changed my life. I said, well, brother, God bless you. I'm so happy for you. When you come to work for me, could you bring that airplane with you? So do you know how joyful it is to get to know? Not only was his quality of life improved, in that case, literally, his life was preserved. His career, his livelihood, his joy of his life was preserved because of some knowledge of how to get healthy at a cellular level. So look, you could go research, you could go look on our YouTube channel and see dozens, if not hundreds, of testimonials of people cured of high blood pressure. I've already shared the science and the physiological reasons of why people do get cured of high blood pressure. And look, if you're one of my beautiful, beloved skeptics, good. I'm a scientist. I'm skeptical by nature. That's why I love beautiful, beloved skeptics. You can be as skeptical as you want. But here's my promise. Here's my commitment that I can make to you. Look, let me ask you a question. If this works, and you get cured of high blood pressure, is it worth it? Yes or no? I can hear you saying yes. Of course it is. Of course it is. No more fear of a heart attack. No more trips to the doctor for high blood pressure. No more high blood pressure medication. No more high blood pressure side effects. Of course it's worth it. And so let me just tell you this. So if it's worth it, if it works, here's my promise to you. If it doesn't work, I'll just give you your money back. It's that simple. Look here, I'm not here to take your money. I'm really not. I want you to invest in yourself because you're priceless. I want you to invest in your health because your health is priceless. I can promise you this, if Steve Jobs was on this webinar and I said, Mr. Jobs, how much would it be worth to you to live another 30, 40, 50 happy, healthy years? How much would you pay for that? I guarantee you he'd pull out his checkbook and he'd write me a check for all the money that he has. Because Steve Jobs learned something that you and I can learn from watching his life. Your health is priceless. You can't buy it. You lose your health, you've lost everything. And you can't take it with you. There's nothing more valuable than investing in yourself. Let me ask you this question. If you have that heart attack, even if you live, if you're like David's son and you're laying in a hospital going into a coma, and if they could pull you out of that coma for 60 seconds and say, hey, I got a quick question for you. If you could avoid all this, how much would you write us a check for? To avoid being resuscitated, having CPR, being literally electric shocked multiple times to try to get your heart back and try to keep you from having brain damage. How much would that be worth to you? It's priceless, right? Come on, you cannot put a price on that. So let me share this with you. Here's the good news. And I'm just going to be plain about this, and I share with people openly. You're priceless and your health is priceless, period. But I learned something from a New York City fireman. He taught me something about money and how you and me think about money. And here's what happened. He was permanently disabled. He said, John, I heard great things about you and your program. I'd love to do it. He said, but I'm permanently disabled. I said, brother, you can do it. He said, no, I can't run. I said, look, there's no running. There's no running. There's no sit-ups. There's no heavy breathing. This exercise is so simple that I teach. You could do it at your kitchen table. You could do it on your couch. I had a woman in a wheelchair lose 37 inches in a wheelchair and get off of her medication. I said, you don't have to worry about that. There's no strenuous exercise. Everyone can do it. Hey, the guy with 4 heart stents. I had a client with 10 heart stents. 10 heart stents. He did it and got healthy. So you can do it. I finally convinced him he could do it. He said, how much does it cost? I told him how much it cost. He sat there for 3 minutes. No, your screen is not frozen. I'm really trying to sit here and simulate. Isn't that awkward? It was really awkward. That was like 10 seconds. He did it for 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden he goes, I'm doing it. He starts filling out his paperwork. 88 days later, he comes bouncing in. John Jubilee, oh my word, you changed my life. I lost 81 pounds of fat in 88 days. I gained 14 pounds of solid muscle. I exercise today for an hour and a half because I can. He said, but can I tell you what I was thinking when you told me how much this cost? I said, brother, please tell me what you're thinking. Are you kidding me? You had an out-of-body experience for 3 minutes. He said, John, my first thought was, what? $3,000? That's too expensive. I'm not doing it. He said, but my very next thought was, wait a minute. I just paid some guys $3,200 to paint the trim on my brick house. A few months before that, they called me. Hey, Lisa needs a new transmission. $3,500. He said, I paid it in a minute for the car. A few months before that, I need a new heating and air conditioning unit, $5,400. Paid it in a minute for the heating and air. A little bit before that, I went to Disney World, $5,000. He said, John, I started doing an inventory of all these things I spend money on. And I came full circle to, wait a minute, $3,000 for me? $3,000 for my health? Am I not worth it? I'm doing it. Listen, friend, when he said that, my light bulb went off. Like, oh my word, that's how we think. We devalue our health and we devalue ourselves. So I want to encourage you. You are priceless. Your health is priceless. And I never let someone not do this program for money. So I'll make it work for you financially. I will make it work for you financially because I don't want you to be a statistic. I don't want you to be one of the million. It's not 1 in a million. It's a million people are going to die of a heart attack this year that have high blood pressure. A million. And millions of others are going to be debilitated by side effects of high blood pressure medication. I don't want that to be you. So I'm going to make it work for you. I'm just going to encourage you, though. You have to take a step. You want something different? You got to do something different. But I'll promise you this. You can do this. You really can. You can do it, and you can do it for your whole life. I have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that have done it. You may just now be hearing about me, but I didn't show up yesterday. I've been around for about 18 years helping people get healthy at a cellular level. I respectfully quote my dear friend, Dr. Ronder, a Vanderbilt orthopedic surgeon, who says, I was one of John's first guppies 18 years ago. Because he did this program and got healthy at a cellular level. He's helped dozens and dozens of his colleagues, fellow doctors and friends, to do the same thing. Because guess what? I'm sitting here 18 years later. I have not been sick one day in my life. Not a prescription, not a doctor visit, nothing. And I'm simply sharing an experience. And my experience is that they say thousands upon thousands of people have been cured. They say, I've been cured of high blood pressure. Their doctor says they are cured of high blood pressure. They don't need their medication. They don't need their checkup on that anymore. And it's only good news and an A+ on that checkup. Just like you saw on Phil Padgett's new health screening, it's all good. It's good and it's green. And that's what's going to happen to you. So I want to invite you to join in this experience. I'm going to give you 3 simple things that you're going to start with. 3. You'll start with them within 24 hours. In a few weeks, I'm going to give you 7 other things that you'll do. They're so simple. If you can count to 10, you can do it. The Secretary of Agriculture is my client. He said, John Jubilee, you cracked the code on health and wellness. He said, I look at your 10 things, and I always had about 6 or 7 of those put together. But you got all 10. You got all 10. It's like you cracked the code, so now we can all open that vault. And in that vault is optimal health at a cellular level. It's real health of what we all want. And thank you for doing it. You did simplify a complex thing. That's his quote, not mine. So, friend, I want to invite you into an experience. I'll be with you every day through the magic of technology. I have phone coaches available to help walk you through every step of the way for your success. And this is a lifetime program. When you sign up for my program, you're in for life. You get to be part of this. I do live webinars every single week for the Jubilee Nation, for the Transformation family, so that you are able to succeed for the rest of your life. So I'm going to let David Baker come now and share with you of how you can participate in this and how you can sign up tonight. And I'm going to stay on for any questions that anybody has to follow up.
Great. If you do have any questions, just type them in the side over there. John will stay as long as he needs to answer anyone's questions. If you have a specific health question for you, or if you have a question about someone else and you want to ask it, just type it in there, and when we get done with this, we'll go back to those questions, okay? So how do you get started? Very simple. I'm going to put it up on there. There's a website link, and you can go and sign up right now. If you're just listening to this and you can't click on the link, it's just The Human Transformer, thehumantransformer.com/signup.html. thehumantransformer.com/signup.html. .html. Okay, and so that's where you can go and sign up. We'll get your personal information there, your health information, financial information. That will come to us. We will immediately start you getting the daily videos. We will teach you the first 3 things that you need to know to get started. The program is 3 phases. First phase is a pre-launch. You do that for 2 weeks, like John said. Then you do the regular 88-day program. And after that, you have the maintenance phase, and the maintenance phase helps you to keep it off. This is not a fad. You're not going to gain and lose and gain and lose. You're going to learn and know what to do and how to do this for the rest of your life. When I signed up, it was literally 2 years ago in January, and a minister background and not the highest pay bracket and 11 children. So finances were a big deal to me. When he told me how much the program cost, I did not have $3,000. And I told him, look, I don't have $3,000, but I'm doing this program. I said, if you'll work with me, I will do this program. And he said, we'll work with you. I said, okay. He said, you pick the down payment, you pick the monthly payment. I said, are you kidding? He said, no. He said, yeah. He said, when John came up with this, I told him, I said, John, you're going to go broke doing this. He said, okay, I'll go broke. He said, I'm not going to have finances be an issue that somebody can't get healthy. It's like having a cure for cancer and saying, you can't afford it. He said, I'm not going to do that to anyone. And John literally gave this away for free for 10 years. He printed off all the information, had it in 3-ring binders, would give it to people. But because it was free, a lot of people didn't do it. Literally less than a quarter of the people that he gave it to actually did the program. Because it's free, it must not be worth anything. The people that did it, of course, had a great transformation. If you don't mind me quoting, the Bible says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Once you put your treasure in it, now your heart's there, and now you keep it. Once John started charging for it, then people did it. The sad thing is people that John gave the program to, they didn't do it. They had that high blood pressure, they had those heart attacks, and they died. And so literally it's that important. Financially, say, oh, I just can't afford that. I just texted David while we were on to ask him how much a hospital bill for that one incident was. He said over $1 million. Over $1 million. You can imagine. Coma, ICU, all the work that they did on it, over $1 million. The way I see it, I don't think someone can afford not to. And so we want to work with you any way we can. So we have 3 different ways you can pay to get you started. Now, there is a $10,000, this is the 3 ways, but John has a CEO celebrity package, and you get John's personal cell number. It's the same program. John has CEOs and celebrities that want that personal attention, and they pay that. The normal price is $5,000. When we meet somebody personally and on these webinars, it's $3,000. So here's the 3 ways you can pay. If you want to pay it all up front, we don't have to pay anyone to collect it now. We don't have to pay collections and accountants and all that, and so we'll discount it $500. We would rather give you the discount than having to pay an accountant and bookkeeper, so it's only $2,500. And so when you go through, you click that on there, and you can get started. Then you can, if you cannot do that, but you want to pay it off before the 88 days, it's $3,000. If you can pay $1,000 down, $1,000 for the next 2 months, you'll be paid off before the 88 days, and you can do it that way. If you do need more help and you say, you know, I just don't, then the minimum of down payment, what they do is $500 down and $200 a month. Okay, $500 down and $200 a month. I met people in the office and said, I don't have $500, but I'm going to get it. I'll be back. And they do, and they come back. And so it may take them a month or 2. They may have to get an income tax or save some money or borrow some money. I had a sweet, dear man. He was on disability. He said, I don't have the money, and I'll never have the money on my fixed income. He said, but I know my kids care about me. And he went to his kids, he had 3 of them, and told them about what he wanted to do. And they all said, Dad, we love you. We want you around. We will pay that. And they paid for his transformation for him to go through it. And so we'll work with you if you're willing to invest in yourself. Make sure you have skin in the game. Make sure you have a commitment to it. We'll work with you. So $500 down and $200 a month. It's okay if I came up with the $500 down. I don't have an extra $200 a month. We'll work with you on that. There's some neat ways when you share this with people that we can reward you for that, so we can get you started. So when John says, truly, honestly, we do not want finances to be an issue that you cannot get healthy, that is truly and honestly what we mean. So you just go to that website, thehumantransformer.com/sign up. .html. Okay? If you have any questions about it, you can email me, david@johnjubilee.com, david@johnjubilee.com. I'll put that up in a minute also. If you have a question about something, then email me. It may take me a little while to get back with everyone and may spread it out with some other staff that we have, but you email me, we will get your questions answered and help you get started. Okay? John, we do have some questions, and so if you want to be able to come back and we'll run through those. And so thank you for being on here and staying on. I know it gets to be a little bit long, but when you think about your health and your life and what people have to go through, it's really a big deal and definitely worth it. And so so that's how you go and sign up. Let's see. If you have okay, Transformers. Okay, Transformers, if you're on here and you are a Transformer already, we have the question and answer ones on Tuesday. That way we as clients only can ask those. If you're a Transformer, then stay on till afterwards or on Tuesday and we can answer those questions for you if you're on the program, okay? And so, Joanne, just email me and we can answer those for you, okay? So, John Cindy says, if you want to come back, good, okay? Let me put the camera back on you. Cindy says, if you have a partial blockage, 50% in a heart artery, will this help break down the blockage and open the artery, or is this irreversible? If it can be opened back up, how does this happen?
Now, are you talking about an artery or a valve?
Says a heart artery. If you have a partial blockage, 50% in a heart artery, will this help break down the blockage and open the artery, or is it irreversible?
Yes, actually, every artery can be opened up. An artery can always open up. Sometimes a valve, when it collapses, it has to have the stent to get the valve open and keep it open, but an artery can always open up.
Great. Let's see, David said, remember when normal blood pressure was 100 plus your age? When that was lowered, prescription sales went to record levels. Do you have any blood pressure recommendations for older ones?
Sure. Well, yeah, the standard healthy blood pressure is 120 over 80. 120 over 80, is good for anybody. Now, if you're lower than that, it's a little bit better. Because think of your blood pressure like miles on a car engine. So if your car engine is designed to go for 100,000 miles, the lower pressure, the less beats per minute, the longer it's going to run. So the key is to get your heart and to get your blood pressure where your resting heart rate is lower and your blood pressure is lower to live longer.
That is great. Those are all the questions that are asked. So if you do have a question, hang on and ask that. If you want to go right away and sign up, of course, that'll be great. We will get you all the help that you need. We'll get the books in the mail to you. We'll start your videos. You'll get webinar links to sign every Tuesday night to ask John any question that you have about health. And if you can't be on there on Tuesday night, register for it. Send us the question. We'll ask it, and you can watch the replay on your own. I got a message from a client this week and said, I love to watch those replays when I'm on my treadmill. And he said, whoa, what's a great motivation. I watch those replays every week and to learn more on the program, and some great knowledge. So, well, we are just about done there. We'll let John close with anything. Thank you for being here. If you do have a question, let us know. Email me, david@johnjubilee.com, and we hope to help you sign up and help you have a great life and transformation. John?
Well, absolutely. Well, again, I just want to encourage you to value yourself. Value yourself. You risk nothing. You risk nothing because I am giving you a guarantee this simple. If you invest in yourself and you think it's worth it, awesome. We're going to be friends. But if it's not worth it and it doesn't work, I'm going to give you back your money and we're still going to be friends. Because I want you to have health. I want you to have wellness. And that is the joy of my life, is to help you be the best you can be in every area of your life, especially with your health. If you don't have that, you have nothing. You're not going to have life, not for very long. So I want to encourage you to honor yourself. And look, if you're one of those beautiful, beloved skeptics, you got nothing to lose. That's why I do a money-back guarantee. I wouldn't do this program without a money-back guarantee myself. I wouldn't do it. But if I know I have nothing to lose, and it's either going to work, and I'm going to be thrilled, it's going to be the greatest investment I ever made, or I'm going to get my money back, then I'm in. And that's why I do that, because I do unto others as I would have them do unto me. So I really encourage you to do this for yourself. If you're still skeptical and you need to do a little bit more research, well, go do it. Go log on and listen to these dozens and dozens and dozens of testimonials of real people. And you'll find out that, you know what, it's real. All these people can't be lying. It's what one of my clients said to me. He said, it took me a couple hundred people on the radio, but I figured out they all can't be lying. Got to be something to it. And look, it's just the real deal. It's a real deal. I never looked at my numbers before, but I think we've literally had about 17,000 people was the number they gave me. 17,000 people. It's real. It's real. And the science is indisputable. The science is indisputable. So honor yourself. Make an investment in yourself. Hey, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be around for a long time, but make sure you're around for a long time. Hey, this stuff has really happened, by the way. There was a man that twice I met him face to face with his wife and his 2 daughters. And I encouraged him to do this program, but he was a mover and a shaker. He made about $350,000 a year. He said, John, I'm too busy. I got too much going on. I was invited to attend his funeral. He was younger than me. His daughters wept in front of me and asked me, Mr. Jubilee, why is my dad dead? Why did my dad die so young? I am telling you, I was so angry. If that man wasn't dead, I would have killed him. He literally made it so his daughters will never be walked down the aisle. His wife will be a widow and have to deal with all that torment. And for what? Because he was too busy to honor himself and take care of himself first. So I'm encouraging you men out there, I'm giving you a challenge. If you love your wife, don't you dare leave her a widow. And if you don't think she's not scared you're going to drop dead of a heart attack, she's just being sweet and kind to you. Every inch your belly is bigger than your sternum, you are going to meet Jesus 5 years early. That's a guarantee from the American Heart Association. So don't kid yourself and don't think everyone else is a statistic, but I'm not. There is nobody that has a heart attack that lays in the hospital and goes, I knew it. I knew I was going to die today of a heart attack. Nobody wakes up saying I'm going to die today of a heart attack. But 1 million people do anyway. So don't you be one of them. Honor yourself. Come on. You can change your life. You can live to 120, full strength, full power. Get off your medication. Be the best you ever. So look, I'm going to be around for a long time, and I encourage you to join me in a whole new life, a new way of living and eating real food for your whole life, and doing exercise you can really do for your whole life. No matter what your age is, no matter what your physical condition is, this you can do. So come on, be the best you.